Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Nahmaduhu wa nasalli ala rasulihil kareem. So we're finishing off, or continuing with the, rounding off the emphasis phrase. So we said here we have nouns, sentences, phrases. Within phrases, we covered all of them early on. Now we're adding in the emphasis phrase or the emphatic phrase just to conclude the phrases. And we put this later on because it involves pronouns. Then certain phrases match in definite, indefinite, number and gender, which are the man'utnat, ismu ishara, musharun ilay. You have some that match in i'rab only, which are ma'atuf alay, ma'atuf, mubdal minhu badal, and muakkad ta'keed. And then some that don't match are all in i'rab, which are possessive phrase, number, and the shibhul jumla. They don't match in any, they don't match in i'rab. Okay? Then we also say we have ta'keed lafzi and we have ta'keed ma'nawi. And in ta'keed lafzi, we said you can repeat the adjective, repeat the verb, that intensifies the meaning. You can repeat the noun, or you can use the word nafs and ayn with a pronoun after it. And what does that do? That creates these two, all three of these. Whether you repeat the noun, or whether you bring the noun with a nafs and ayn, it gives emphatic pronoun, himself, herself, itself. Kila, kilta, kullun, jami'un, and ajma'u. All of these are used as quantifiers to include every single member, both, all, entire. Okay, but ajma'u is slightly different. That ajma'u is usually not a mudaf, it comes on its own, and it also has an ajma'un plural form. Now what we're discussing now here is, these words, until now, we said they become mudaf to a pronoun which refers back to the mu'akkad. So look here, ja'a ar-rajulani kilahuma. So we say here in tarkeeb, this becomes the mu'akkad, and kilahuma becomes the ta'keed. And the word kila becomes mudaf to a pronoun which refers to the mu'akkad. Same with an-nasu kulluhum, an-nasu jami'uhum. In all of these examples, we have what? We have the word kullu, the word jami'u. All the quantifiers become mudaf to a pronoun which is referring back to the mu'akkad. And then this becomes mu'akkad ta'keed. Yes, that's what we've done so far. What we're studying now here is, what we're saying now is that all of these quantifiers, they can be used how? They can be used as mudaf to the mu'akkad directly. And it won't be a mu'akkad ta'keed structure. Once again, normally kila, jami, and kullu become mudaf to a pronoun, and that pronoun and the quantifier, kila and the pronoun become that ta'keed. Kulluhum, the kullu and the pronoun becomes the ta'keed. Jami and the pronoun becomes the ta'keed. However, what we can do instead of kilahuma, so instead of having a mu'akkad, kila and a dhamir, you can bring the kila by itself and it's mu'akkad to the thing you're emphasizing. And you wouldn't need to make mu'akkad ta'keed structure. What happens instead? Ja'a becomes a fa'il, fa'il, and then this becomes a mudaf ilayh. Mudafun. There's no mu'akkad ta'keed structure. Mu'akkad ta'keed meaning stays. Because the kila is emphasizing the meaning of rajulain, meaning quantifying it. But it's not a mu'akkad ta'keed structure. Ja'a, I got ja'u by mistake. So ja'a kullun nas. Instead of saying ja'a an-nasu kulluhum, same translation. But instead of making a mu'akkad ta'keed structure, you make the quantifier kullu mudaf to the noun you're quantifying directly. Have you understood this? Same with ja'a an-nasu jami'uhum. You can also say ja'a jami'un nasi. Understood? Any questions? Yes?
Now, in the Sami'a,
correct, because you won't label it as mu'akkad ta'keed because kila is mudaf, ar-rajulaini is mudaf ilay. What would you make it ta'keed of? There is nothing in terms of structure to make it mu'akkad ta'keed structure. So what's happening here? Mu'akkad ta'keed, or the quantifiers are being used without a mu'akkad ta'keed structure, but the quantifiers themselves, they have a ta'keed meaning built in. But in structure, grammatically, you wouldn't make it mu'akkad ta'keed. Do you understand? Yes, you understood? For example, we have a few examples. So, ja'a ad-duyufu kulluhum. Who wants to translate these, the first two? Who's going to go ahead first? Let's start from Ahmad. Bismillah.
If you understand the principle, you understand the principle.
So all the guests came. All the guests came. Okay, read number 2 as well. What's number 2? Same translation. All the guests came. Turkey, what's different? So in ja'a is fa'al. Aduyuf kulluhum becomes fine. The bottom one was ja'a becoming. And kullu duyuf becomes fa'il. Kulluhum becomes what? Mudaf, mudaf ilay. And kullu becomes what in here? Mudaf, mudaf. So far so good? But this mudaf, mudaf ilay becomes what now? Ta'keed to this mu'akkad. And here, this mudaf, mudaf ilay becomes start directly. There is no mu'akkad ta'keed in here, in terms of i'rab, and in terms of tarkeeb. Do you understand what's happening? Ahmad. No, Muhammad, next one, next two. Yeah, Bahrun, ocean, and Bihar is the plural. So both of these translate as what? Allah created both of the oceans. Not both. Sorry, Allah created all of the oceans. Yes? So in here, kullaha becomes mudaf, mudaf alayh becomes what?
So what process happens?
Yeah, it becomes mu'akkad ta'keed. And here, Jamia al-Bihar, mudaf, mudaf alayh becomes what? What's directly? So this becomes the maf'ul bihi directly, and it becomes mu'akkad ta'keed. Does everybody understand?
Why we change it?
Yes. Any questions? Okay. Right. So far, so good? Yes? Okay. Moving on. What do we have? If Kila and kilta become a slot directly, they are mabni. What does that mean? If Kila and kilta, mudaf, mudaf ilay, become mu'akkad ta'keed, then they're mu'arab as we done before. If the Kila and kilta become a slot directly, meaning they're not mudaf to the pronoun of the mu'akkad, rather the thing they're emphasizing comes after them, Kila and kilta won't change. So for example, we have here, Ra'aytul waladayni, Ra'aytu kilal waladayn. So what's Ra'aytu becoming tarkib? Hamad, Ra'aytu is what? Fa'al and Fa'il, yes? Kilal waladaini becomes what? Maf'ulun bihi, correct? Kilal waladain becomes what? Mudaf and Mudafun ilay. Do you understand? Okay. But now, is Kilal waladain becoming a ta'keed, or is it just becoming a maf'ul bihi directly? What's it becoming? A ta'keed or a slot directly? It's becoming a slot directly. It's becoming what? This is becoming what? A direct slot. Direct slot. Not ta'keed. In tarkeeb. Therefore, you wouldn't say kila. What's the mansoob say of kila? Because it's dual, isn't it? So kila, kilay, kilta, kiltay. You wouldn't say kilay al-waladain. You leave it as kila. If you were to rewrite this structure as a mu'akkad ta'keed structure, you would say here, Ra'aytu al-waladain. Who can tell me what would it be here? Ra'aytu al-waladain. What is it going to be? Kilayhima. Here is going to be mabni. It's going to be mansoob. It's changed to kilay. When you say here direct slot, ra'aytu kilal waladain. Same thing here. Nadartu ila kiltal bintain. If this was a mabni mu'rab, it would be what? Let's change it. Nadartu ilal Nadartu ilal bintaini. What's it going to be? Kil. Well, it's feminine, not kilayhima, kil. Tayhima, because it's feminine, isn't it? The bint. Yes? So what's the difference here? Because kilta is a slot directly, this is what? This becomes a direct slot. A direct slot. Therefore, it's going to become mabni. Yes? Okay? Everybody following? So if you look at it here, there's a few examples. If you have kila and kilta, they can be used in two ways. As an emphasis phrase, mu'akkad ta'keed on the left hand side. So what will happen is mudaf ilayh. When you have this structure, it will be mu'akkad ta'keed, and the mudaf ilayh will be what? A pronoun. And it will be mu'rab. So for example, ja'a ar-rajulani kilahuma. This is an emphasis phrase. Mu'akkad and ta'keed. Therefore the mudaf ilayh of kila is what? A noun or a pronoun? What's it going to be, noun or pronoun, the mudaf ilayh? Pronoun. And is it going to be mu'rab or mabni? Mu'rab. If you come on this side, if it's a direct slot, the mudaf ilayh of kila is a noun or a pronoun? So therefore, is mu'rab or mabni? Mabni. Next example, number 2. On the left hand side, we have here a bit of the glitch here. So ra'aytu ar-rajulayn kilayhima. Kila is mudaf to a pronoun, and it's mu'akkad ta'keed structure. Rajulayn is mu'akkad, kilayhima is ta'keed. Therefore, it becomes mu'rab. So kilayhima. If we make it a slot directly, kila becomes mabni. It says kila. Ra'aytu kila ar-rajulayni. Similarly, nadartu ila kila ar-rajulayn. Nadartu ila kila ar-rajulayn. Is this right or is it a mistake? Well, the thing is wrong. The examples are wrong. Yeah. So it goes nadartu ila ar-rajulayni kilayhima. That's a mu'akkad ta'keed structure. And nadartu ila kila ar-rajulayn, this is mabni. Does everybody understand?
It's not a problem.
Yes. So in summary, so far what do we have? Now all of the quantifiers, whatever word is used to quantify, not the ayn and nafs, but the words that are used to quantify, meaning kila, kilta, Jamia and kul. They can become either a mudaf to a pronoun which refers to the mu'akkad. In that case, it becomes a mu'akkad ta'keed structure, or it can become mudaf to the noun itself, so it becomes a slot directly. Yes, so let's have a look at this one. Inna as-sayfaini kilayhima thaqilan. What does sayf mean? Sword. So now what do we have here? We have kilai. We have kila, yes? Now, is it mudaf to a noun or mudaf to a pronoun? It's mudaf to a pronoun. Therefore, it's becoming a mu'akkad ta'keed or a slot directly. It's mu'akkad ta'keed. So mu'akkad and ta'keed becomes mu'akkad and ta'keed. Yes, it becomes mu'akkad and ta'keed. Okay? And is kilay going to be here mu'rab or mabni? Mu'rab, because, yes. Same example we have here now. Inna kila as-sayfain. Is kila mudaf to a noun or a pronoun? What's the mudaf ilayh after it? Noun or pronoun? Noun. Therefore, kila is mu'rab or mabni? Mabni. Transition is same. Well, obviously I changed the word wrong. Vocabulary is changed, but the word is same. Indeed, both of the swords. So both of the swords are heavy in the top one, and both of the swords are not heavy or unheavy or light. غَيْرُ خَفِيفَيْن are not light. But so don't worry about that part. But this part is the same thing. كِلَا السَّيْفَيْن. إِنْ كَانَ الشَّابَانِ كِلَاهُمَا شُجَاعَيْن. Shabun, so shabun here. Kila is mudaf to a pronoun. Therefore it's mu'akkad ta'keed, and it's going to be mu'rab. Mu'rab and ta'keed. Both young men are brave. Muhammad and Ahmad, both of them are very brave. Yes? And you have kana kila shabaini dhawai ilmin. Kana kila shabaini dhawai ilmin. So now here is mudaf. It's mudaf to a pronoun. So you have a dhamir after it. Therefore, this becomes what? A slot directly. And it's going to be mabni. So both young men, Hamad and Ibrahim, are dhawai ilmin, inshallah. What? People with knowledge. Understood? Or were people of knowledge? Everybody following me? Any questions before we move ahead? Yes? Okay. Now, one other rule, now whilst we're discussing the direct slots, one rule is, we have to keep in mind, when we have jalasat ummu ahmada, what's the fa'il in here? Jalasat, yes? Is the verb, ta, and ta is the sign of mu'annas, isn't it? So is the verb mudhakkar or mu'annath? Which form is the verb in? Why? Yeah, because of ta'u ta'aneeth. And why is there ta'u ta'aneeth? And is mudaf or mudaf ilay? So what are we considering here? The mudaf or mudaf ilay in terms of gender? Mudaf. Okay? How? Yes? Jalasa Abu Fatima. Is jalasa mudhakkar or mu'annas? Why is it mudhakkar? Abu. We don't look at Fatima, we don't look at Ahmad. Correct? However, if we have a quantifier in a mudaf structure, the quantifier, does it really have a gender? So for example, who's doing the sitting in jalasat? The first example, who's doing the sitting in here? Who's doing the sitting? No, in this example here. Who's doing the sitting in here? The Who's doing the sitting in here? The ab. And here is the kullu doing the sitting. It's the akhawat doing the sitting. So when you have a quantifier as a mudaf, it's flexible in here. Yes? Do you understand? Because the kullu is not really doing the fa'il. Kullu is not nothing. Kullu is not nothing. That's a double negative. Anyways, the kullu is just there for quantifying. So jalasat kullu al-akhawat means it really is jalasat al-akhawat kulluhum. The akhawat are doing the sitting. So when you have kullu and ba'du and quantifiers as a mudaf, then you're flexible. You have a bit of choice. I can say here jalasat kullu al-akhawat and jalasat kullu al-ikhwa. But obviously it doesn't become apparent in here, but in here it becomes apparent. This is mudhakkar and this is mu'annath. But you make it match the mu'annas here because you don't match the mudaf in kullu. So when you have a quantifier as a mudaf, then the gender agreement is usually with the mudaf ilayh, but it's flexible. You don't have to be hardcore on the mudaf as it is in the above. Does that make sense? Yes? So let's look at a Quran example. What comes in the Quran? In Surah Hajj. It says here, وَتَضَعُ كُلُّ, what is it? وَتَضَعُ كُلُّ, where the Hufa has gone? وَتَضَعُ كُلُّ ذَاتِ حَمْلٍ حَمْلَهَا. So now what happens here? Is tada'u mudhakkar or mu'annas? Yada'u mu'annas. Now kullu is mudhakkar, isn't it? But what's its job? Is it a fa'il or is it's really a quantifier, isn't it? So therefore, the tada'u is going to match with what? The that. That means one who possesses a hamlin means a pregnancy. So every pregnant woman on the day of Qiyamah, when the last hour comes, because of the fear and the dread of that time, they will miscarry the child. So تَضَعُ كُلُّ ذَاتِ حَمْلٍ حَمْلَهَا. So this is mu'annas. That is the mu'annas of dhu, we've done that before. So now, the tada'u matches with that, not kullu. Do you understand? So when you have kullu as a quantifier, then we can match the mudaf ilayh instead of matching the mudaf. Yes? You got it? Any questions before we move on? Okay. One more rule before we finish off is that when we have kullu as a quantifier, as a mudaf, the mudaf ilay can be removed and understood from the context. What can happen? You can remove the mudaf ilay of kullun, and of kullu, you put a tanween on kullu called tanweenul iwad. You put a tanween on kullu called tanweenul iwad. The tanween iwad means replacement. So a tanween which replaces the mudaf ilay. A tanween which replaces the mudaf ilay. So for example, if we say kullan hadayna, what hada yahdi mean? To guide. So hadayna becomes what in tarkib? Fa'il and fa'il, which is na. Hadayna, hada yahdi, to guide. Hadayna, we guided. And this becomes a maf'ulun bihi muqaddam. Yes? Okay? Now, when you have kullan is mudaf, it's a quantifier, isn't it? So really it should have been a mudaf ilayh, should have been here. Understood? But the mudaf ilayh is replaced by a tanweenul iwad. The mudaf ilayh is replaced by what? A tanweenul iwad. What does this mean? Because in the previous sentence, Allah mentions many anbiya. So here it means we guided all. And what do we understand? Who's all? Who's all? All of the anbiya mentioned in the previous verse. So kullun, kullan, depends. Kullan or kullun. So you can have kullu, and instead of having a mudaf ilay, you remove the mudaf ilay and you put a tanween on this. So this tanween is not for nakira, it's basically a replacement for the mudaf ilay. Do you understand? And you have kullan hadayna, we guided all of them. Yes? Okay, you see for example, kullun. So somebody asked me, how was the exam? What was the result? Have you marked it? I say, hey, kullun. I say, faza. Kullun, insha'Allah. Everyone passed, insha'Allah. So now, kullun ay kullukum, all of you, all of the students. This is a tanweenul iwad. This tanween is replacing a mudaf ilayh, which is understood from the context. Everyone I was talking about before. Okay? Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. So just finishing off, we have been discussing quantifiers when they have the meaning of ta'keed, but they don't have the tarkeeb and the structure, grammatical structure of ta'keed. And we said this happens when Kila, kilta, Jamia, kullu, they become mudaf to the noun directly instead of being mudaf to the pronoun of the mu'akkad. Now, the next one I want to discuss is the word Jamia. Okay? Now, we've done this before. This one here. The word Jamia can come in a mu'akkad ta'keed structure, as we done last time. جاء الناس جميعهم يا رأيت الرجال كلهم. Yes, جلست النساء كلهن, etc. Jami' can also come, like the other words, outside of a mu'akkad ta'keed grammatical structure, even though it still depicts the ta'keed meaning. However, the Arabs use this as a hal. It doesn't show the state, I know, but the Arabs, they read it mansoob. And the only way the grammarians have fitted it in is saying that it comes a hal. So يَبْعَثُهُمُ اللَّهُ جَمِيعًا means that Allah will resurrect them all. So this jami' becomes the hal of this in terms of i'rab. It's tarkeeb wise. So in terms of your tarkeeb and your i'rab and your grammatical breakdown, you will have to make it the hal. But the meaning is what? Emphasis and ta'keed. So يَبْعَثُهُمُ اللَّهُ جَمِيعًا, Allah will resurrect them all. Does that make sense? Yes? Everybody following?
When this structure is used, that do not let Allah ask you. That means
okay. So for example here, we have يَبْعَثُهُمُ اللَّهُ جَمِيعًا, and you will say, instead of coming the ta'keed of the hum, you make it the hal. It's just the way the Arabs have spoken. We've got no choice but to follow that. Okay, so even though it quantifies and has the meaning of ta'keed, you have to label it as a hal.
So then this is becoming
So now, if you look at the word jami', it can be used in three ways. This is the first way we used it. So جاء الرجال جميعهم. This is what the mu'akkad ta'keed structure. Why is it mu'akkad ta'keed structure? Because الرجال, jami' is the mudaf, the whom is the mudaf ilay. Yes? And this is mudaf ilay is a dhamirul mu'akkad. Because of dhamirul mu'akkad, then we mean this becomes a mu'akkad. This becomes the ta'keed. Do you understand? Or ja'a jami'ur rijal, it's a direct slot because it's mudaf to the noun directly. So mudaf ilay directly become the fa'il. Or you have ja'a rijalu jami'an, this becomes the hal. Because mansoob, but it's a hal of the halu min al fa'il, but it's for emphasis. Does that make sense? Yes? So for example, innal quwwata lillahi jami'a. Innal quwwata lillahi jami'a. How would we do this in Turkey? Let's start from Ahmad. Ji. Harfun mushabbahun bil fa'il. Al-quwwa becomes what? Ismu inna lillahi becomes khabaru inna, and jami' becomes hal min al what? What's it emphasizing? Yes, hal of quwwa. So hal of ismu inna, halun of ismu inna. Inna al-quwwata lillahi jami'a. You got it? Same thing will happen. So I would translate it as what? Indeed, all power is for Allah. Indeed, all power is for Allah. Innal izzata lillahi jami'a. Indeed, all honor is for Allah. Ji. Muhammad, next one. So fa'lu amrin. Fa'lu amrin, the fa'il is the waw. Then, can you hear me? I think it's got cut off. Can you see the screen? Yeah, okay. So fa'lu amrin and the fa'il. Ilallahi becomes what? Maf'ul bihi ghayr sarih. And the jami' becomes what? Hal of what? What's it emphasizing? Yeah, so halu min al fa'il. So tubu ilallahi jami'an. Translation will be? So all of you repent or turn to Allah. Okay, understood? Okay. Yes, understood? The next one, Hamad and family.
This is to rebuke. Now, when a slave girl commits zina, then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, she has
Fa'il. What's the fa'il? Huwa.
Then do not go further than this.
Ilayhi becomes. You can make maf'ul bihi thanin, ghayr sarih. or somebody might think it's also maf'ul fi, place towards him, either is fine. Okay, it's flexibility in the maf'ul, the ghayr sarih. And Jamia becomes what? What? Hal of? Hal of the fa'il or hal of the maf'ul bihi?
Why said her that if she commits zina the third time, why said her is two possible. One is if you said her and she goes to a new master.
Yes, so halu min al maf'uli bihi. Okay. You say here, he will gather all of them. He will gather all of them to him, by him. Yes? Understood? Now here we got this table here. Let's start from here. So we have a few purple slots. 1, 2, 3, 4. All of these are the quantifiers. Yes? Are you following? So what are these slots? We have 4 quantifiers. Yes? Everybody following me? Let's start from the first one. Kila and kilta, they will be what? Mu'arab if they are mudaf to a pronoun. And what kind of structure will it be? A mu'akkad ta'keed structure. Yes? So if kila and kilta are mudaf to a pronoun, they become mu'arab and they are a mu'akkad ta'keed structure. Does that make sense? Ibrahim? Okay. If kullu, so let's now we know what the purple ones are, the quantifiers. If we have the word kullu here, is mudaf to a pronoun, mu'akkad ta'keed structure. Jami' mudaf to a pronoun, mu'akkad ta'keed structure. So any of these three mudaf to a pronoun, so it always shows ta'keed meaning, but in terms of structure, grammatical structure, is mu'akkad ta'keed. Okay? The word ajma'un is never mudaf. It doesn't become mudaf. It just becomes ta'keed on its own. It's mu'akkad ta'keed, even if it's not in a mu'akkad it doesn't have a mudaf ilay. Yes? Everybody following? Does it make sense? Muhammad, you following? Right. Now, if you have jami', so now the second way is all of these three can become mudaf to a noun. So they become a slot directly. And in this case, kila and kilta becomes what? Mabni. Yes? So it's two ways you can use it. The kila and kilta become what? Kila and kilta, mu'rab, mudaf to a pronoun. So all of these, if they're mudaf to a pronoun, it's going to be mu'akkad ta'keed structure and it becomes mu'rab. If any of these are mudaf to a noun, then this becomes mabni and becomes direct slot. And jami' can be also used on its own, but becomes a hal. Does that make sense? Yes? Are you following? So these three, there are 4 quantifiers. Ajma'un is always used on its own, here in the corner. Yes? And then we have three quantifiers. They are mudaf to a pronoun, mu'akkad ta'keed structure, mudaf to a noun, direct slot, and jami', if it's on its own, it becomes the hal. Does that make sense? This is a summary of the quantifiers. Okay? Subhanallah wa bihamdi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.